Athens is a city where ancient ruins stand alongside modern neighborhoods, cafes, and museums. With about 3 million people in its metropolitan area, it remains the political, cultural, and economic heart of Greece. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Adventures of Lolly and Pops. I'm Laurie, also known as Lolly.
I'm Greg, also known as Pops.
Right, so today we want to tell you a little bit about the old and the new. So if you ever wanted to visit a place because of the old, the ruins, the history, things that you learned about over the years, and then you wanted to go and see the new, the modern, see what's happening there in town, meet the people, try the new foods. So we did exactly that, and we visited Athens, Greece. So we were a little hesitant about Athens.
Yeah, we didn't know.
We had seen videos and we'd read about Athens, and the one thing that we kept hearing over and over again was that it was really crowded and it was hard to visit the sites and to enjoy it. And so we only booked a week, or just under a week, there, because we just really weren't sure. We also happened to be there on the coldest day that they have had
in a
long time.
Yeah.
And we felt it. So today we want to bring you a video about the old that we saw in Athens, and also some of the new that we saw in Athens. So come along and join us. And at the end, we also have a special day trip of our own, I guess, that we took one morning, and we followed the footsteps of the Apostle Paul. And that was really special to us, and we want to share that with you as well. So come along and join us. Athens is one of the world's oldest and continuously inhabited cities, with a history spanning more than 3,400 years. It is the birthplace of democracy and the home to philosophers such as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. Athens began around 1400 BC as a settlement around the Acropolis, and during the 5th century BC, it became a leading state of Greece. This was known as the Golden Age during the construction and landmarks like the Parthenon. The Acropolis is the ancient fortified hill that overlooks the city of Athens and is one of the most important archaeological sites in the world. From our area of Athens, the walk to the Acropolis is about a 20-minute walk, or a little over a mile. Keep in mind that it is straight up and is not for the faint of heart. And once you enter the park, you're transformed into ancient times, with Roman guards, plenty of ruins, and views of the ancient Colosseum. And you can also see the prison of Socrates, where tradition says he was held before his execution. And going up even further is the Propylaea, or the entrance to the Acropolis. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Smile. Breathe. The Parthenon was built in 447 to 432 BC and is dedicated to the goddess Athena, the city's patron deity. The Erechtheion is famous for its caryatid statues, which also serve as columns. At the Acropolis, you will also see the Temple of Athena Nike, celebrating military victories. And the hike back down led us past the guards and to the statue of Athena. And magnificent in the daytime and stunning at night, it overlooks the city of Athens. Plaka is the oldest neighborhood and nestled on the northeastern slope of the Acropolis. It has narrow pedestrian streets, small shops, and beautiful views of the Acropolis. And there is something surreal about standing on the same grounds that people before us stood, such as the Apostle Paul. We decided to make a day trip out of it and follow in his footsteps. Hi, this morning we're taking a tour through the city of Athens in the footsteps of Paul. And our first stop is at the church of Panagia Kapnekaria, and it is located in the heart of Athens near Elmer Street, which is the main shopping street. And it is dedicated to the Virgin Mary. It's a small Orthodox church. It features stunning 20th century mosaic, frescoes, and cross and square design built around 1050 AD, likely on the site of an ancient temple. Okay. And we'll see if we can sneak inside for a minute and show you what's in there. I'll tell you a little bit about the church. It's a complex of 3 separate structures, including a main church, a chapel, and a narthex. And I did go into the narthex, but there are people in there worshiping and praying, so I did not go any further. It features a distinctive Byzantine masonry brickwork and striking 1936 mosaic of the Virgin and the Child above the entrance. The name is thought to come from the Byzantine tax captura or tax collection known as Kapnekaris. Okay, we're standing in front of the Agora. The Agora was the ancient marketplace temple, beginning of democracy. And we'll be glad to tell you more about it. The Agora is the political, commercial, economic, and social center of Athens. Citizens gathered to discuss politics and to vote. Merchants sold their goods, and philosophers taught and debated. Public announcements and proceedings took place here. It is about a 15-minute walk downhill from the Acropolis. And also located inside the Agora is the Church of the Holy Apostles. So we are at the third stop on our Steps of Paul walk through Athens, and we are in front of the Church of the Apostle Philip. We made it to the top of Areopagus, I think is how it's pronounced, hill. And again, this is where Paul had his most important sermon, which was, it can be seen in Acts 17. And here we are. Because of the crowd, we're not going to read it to you here, but I will read it. Paul observed many pagan altars referred to as to an unknown God, using it as a starting point to explain Christianity. Acts 17 is one of the most famous speeches in the New Testament. It was delivered at Areopagus, or Mars Hill. And while Paul was waiting for them in Athens, he was greatly distressed to see that the city was full of idols. So he reasoned in the synagogue with both Jews and God-fearing Greeks, as well as in the marketplace day by day with those who happened to be there. A group of Epicurean and Stoic philosophers began to debate with him. Some of them asked, "What is this babbler trying to say?" Others remarked, "He seems to be advocating foreign gods." They said this because Paul was preaching the good news about Jesus and the resurrection. Then they took him and brought him to a meeting of the Areopagus, where they said to him, "May we know what this new teaching is that you are presenting? You are bringing some strange ideas to our ears, and we would like to know what they mean." All the Athenians and foreigners who lived there spent their time doing nothing but talking about and listening to the latest ideas. Paul then stood up in the meeting of the Areopagus and said, "People of Athens, I see that in every way you are very religious. For as I walked and I looked carefully at the objects of worship, I even found an altar with this inscription, 'To an unknown God.' So you are ignorant of the very thing you worship, and this is what I'm going to proclaim to you. The God who made the world and everything in it is the Lord of heaven and earth, and does not live in temples built by human hands. And he is not served by human hands, as if he needs anything. Rather, he himself gives every one life and breath and everything else. From one man he made all the nations, that they should inhabit the whole earth. And he marked out their appointed times in history and the boundaries of their lands. God did this so that they would seek him and perhaps reach out for him and find him, though he is not far from any one of us. For in him we live and move and have our being. As some of your own poets have said, we are his offspring. Therefore, since we are God's offspring, we should not think that the divine being is like gold or silver or stone, an image made by human design or skill. In the past, God overlooked such ignorance, but now he commands all people everywhere to repent, for he has set a day when he will judge the world with justice by man he has appointed. He has given proof of this to everyone by raising him from the dead. And when they heard about the resurrection of the dead, some of them sneered, but others said, "We want to hear you again on this subject." At that, Paul left the council. Some of them became followers of Paul and believed. Among them was Dionysius, a member of the Areopagus, and also a woman named Damaris. Athens is a place where ancient ruins blend with modern neighborhoods. Enjoy the sights and the sounds of the streets of Athens.
thee apart with me, and I've got to hide them west of
Thanks for joining us on our adventure through Athens.
Athens was quite surprising and amazing for us. When I see the architecture and see the Parthenon and the Acropolis, and so much of it is still standing, and I wonder how did they do that? First of all, how did they get the stone up there to the top of the hill? And how did they build it in such short time? And just the craftsmanship is amazing. So if you get a chance to go to Athens, I really recommend that you go and you visit and take a few days. And like I said, we spent just under a week, and I would say that was kind of pretty close.
Yeah, we had a great time, and it is a long ways up there.
Yeah. We did it not once, but twice. We walked up to the top, so quite an accomplishment for us.
It was.
Yeah. And so be sure and follow along on our other videos of Athens. Last week we told you about the changing of the guard, which was quite a ceremony. And then next week we'll tell you about the foods and some of the people that we met along the way. Yeah. So be sure and join us, and thanks for watching. Here's to love, laughter, and adventure. Bye.